So we have Dariush Soudi.
Perfect.
Yes. Many things. So one of the main things we'll talk about is Dubai. And another thing is you were in the UK back, I think, until 2007,
2009.
2009. And then you transitioned and you moved to Dubai.
Yes.
Why would you move to Dubai and leave the UK, and you had a good life there? How was your life?
The question is why not, right? Not why.
Yeah.
I had a mishap personally, which affected my health, my business, and I was worried about the security of my kids, so I sent them to Dubai. My ex-wife lived here. She had a new relationship, so I sent my 2 children to here to be safe, away from possible issues back in the UK. Then I had a heart attack, and in the hospital bed, they said I was going to die. So I had a high chance of dying. And kind of reflected on my life, and I thought, you know what, actually, if this is death, bring it on. It was really strange, but I was crying, and I was like, I'm not crying because I'm scared of death, but I'm crying because I'm on my own. So I made a decision that, honestly, in my head,
alone
alone
in the hospital bed. You
alone,
mean?
yeah, no family, no children, because they were in Dubai. And then I it's really strange, certainty, I knew I was going to survive. And I wrote a plan that whatever happens, for whatever reason, I wrote down September the 1st, 2009. My heart attack was in 2009. And I said I was going to come to Dubai and be with my kids, no matter what. I was going to burn my...
ask you, when you're in your, let's call it the hospital bed, you didn't think, I'm going to die and this is the end of it?
Not one bit. In a way, because my father passed away when I was 4, and then my grandfather looked after me. And then he passed away in front of me when I was 7. I've kind of witnessed that. And it was like, I've been waiting for this moment. It's really strange. I look at most people and they live life like they're going to be forever. And they say, inshallah, tomorrow, next year, I'll do this. I'm like, you have no idea you're going to be alive tomorrow. So I think you're either cursed or blessed. So my blessing has been the fact that I don't waste time. Although I was late this morning for you, and I'm going to live with it for the rest of the week. But
I want to ask you, so where did the heart attack come from? And I want to ask about this because you were...
Sure, okay, let's go back a little bit. I had a successful business that ran out of cash, and I needed franchisees. So I started up 6 franchisees in 6 months. And one of them was, just happened to be from Liverpool. And all along, I knew the guy wasn't straight. I knew, had a feeling, but I decided just close my eyes and take the money and sign him up as a franchisee. So one evening, and after about 3 months into the franchise business, they kept phoning me, giving me a hassle and a headache, and it's not working out, and they're being very unreasonable and rude. And I said, unless you behave, I'm not going to speak to you again. So one evening, I'm at my house, I'm a single dad with my children. My new wife, my second wife, I just met her, she was in Spain. And there's a knock on the door. I open the door and 4 men break in. And they were from him. Knife point, and they like, cut his neck. And all along, all I could hear was my daughter singing on her iPhone or iPad or whatever it was. And all I could think was, if they cut my neck right now, or she walks out, what's she gonna see? It's gonna damage her forever. So again, even then I wasn't thinking about death. So I said to them, I'll pay you your money, $250,000 tomorrow. I don't carry that kind of cash. And they said, we know where you live and your work is, where your kids are. So that evening I put the kids on the plane and sent them to Dubai. And then next morning I got a police escort, picked up my stuff, never went back to the house, drove all the way to Spain. And literally from north of England, across the Channel, France, Spain in 48 hours. I didn't sleep, I was driving like this, shaking. It's just like a movie, right? So I came back and I thought, you know what, this is not good. I'm not happy. And I came back to sort out the business. I had a heart attack. The pressure of it all. So it was time to reflect. You know, the funny thing is, looking back now, in my age, you become wiser. The signs were always there. You know, sometimes you're so driven about where you want to get, and you avoid, you go, God, give me a sign. I'm like, God loved me, and He gave me every sign possible, right? To say, stop the way you're living life. There's something more waiting for you. And that was Dubai.
Oh my! How old were you when this
I
happened?
was
when
44.
44. And just to give people some context, you're
I'm
one of the
58
most
now.
known people in this country right now. Here
I
in
believe
Dubai.
so, I think. People say
From
it.
what I've seen online and the
Thank you.
events that you're making and everything. So you went from literally almost nothing in the UK.
I had over 100. I was worth over 100 million pounds.
Back then in the
Back
UK.
then, yes.
Oh,
and I
okay.
had 600 staff. We had health clubs all over the UK.
You lost everything there, or you brought it to
What happened
here?
was I was very honest, and I told people the truth. I had a buyer. One of our businesses we gave to our long-serving staff, and she's done very well since. And then the rest I sold. And a buyer came. He was in a finance business, and he paid me 10%. And we had an issue with the tax office. There was value-added tax, and there was £30,000 discrepancy. And I said to my accountant, we had lots of money in the bank. I said, pay them. And he goes, no, they don't deserve it. Let's go to court and discuss it with them. I didn't know that the moment the taxman wants to take you to court, you have to announce it in something called the London Gazette. The buyers saw this. I thought, right, we're going to screw him. So they came to me and said, right, screw you, we're not going to pay you 90%. So they paid me the 10%, they didn't pay me the 90%. So I knew that if I took him to court, it would be years.
Yeah.
So I just walked away.
You walked away, and that's where you moved to
I lost all my money. Bank came after me, the tax man paid everybody
So
off.
you came here with nothing.
$700.
So you started in Dubai,
Yes.
44 years old, with
Three
nothing.
children.
3 children?
I hadn't gone to school for 6 months. Yeah, it was hard. Honestly, I get
$700.
emotional now thinking about it. I might. I think this is where my followers or people who like me or follow me, they like my honesty and transparency and vulnerability. Because whenever I speak from the heart, and I go there, you know, Mohammed, I go there, and it's so painful, so painful. I lived in a maid's room for 6 months. When I came back, I slept for a week. I couldn't get up. Just the stress of it all and what had just happened, it was like a nightmare. Looking back now, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because I wouldn't be here, and we talk about why here is heaven. The closest thing to heaven.
Why do you think here is heaven? I mean, we're talking about Dubai now. Why do
Okay,
you think
first,
Dubai is heaven?
okay, I was a migrant, so I'm Iranian born, Muslim, a Muslim by name. Maybe I could be a better practicing Muslim. So I faced loads of bullying. I faced bullying from school, from the police. I felt always the minority. I don't drink alcohol, maybe a little bit now, but I didn't then, because I was playing squash and football seriously, and I felt alcohol was affecting my health. So as a salesman, and I've always been a salesman, everybody in that industry goes to the pub after work. And I didn't go. I was a family man. I was a father at 27. So I used to go home to my family. So yeah, I never fitted in. So when I came to Dubai, and I went to Iran 20 years ago, and it felt like the country had gone back 300 years. So I was westernized, yet I love my roots as a Muslim. And when I came to Dubai, everything ticked the box. It's the modern, you know, there's no jiggery-pooggery, the systems, it's safe, infrastructure.
From what you're saying, what you also like about Dubai here, that you have an Arab background, Muslim background.
Yeah.
And here it kind of gets, and you're a little
I'm
bit
actually
westernized
respected
living
as
in the UK.
Although now, if you're Christian, Buddhist, whatever, Jewish, come here, you're still equal to the countries. I don't know, the rulers, the systems they put in place, their values are incredible. But as a Muslim who never felt home, because I'm a lost soul, I went on many personal development courses, and they give you nicknames. Now, they didn't know what my nickname was on other personal development courses. But you know what was most amazing? Most of the time I was called Lost. My nickname on these courses was Lost.
What does that tell us?
I was a lost soul.
Lost soul.
Lost
I was
soul.
about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So where do you feel, where's your identity? Do you feel
Dubai.
It's Dubai. Huh?
I will take a bullet for Sheikh Mohammed. I'll do anything. Because how can a 44-year-old guy with 3 children, no money, zero, had suffered massive health issues, come to a country and do well? And
Do you feel like Sheikh Mohammed had an influence somewhere or another into your growth?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I run a relatively small company, and we have people steal from us, lie to us, cheat to us, and you know, you doubt your sanity, you doubt your vision, and you see this ruler. Imagine how many people have taken advantage of him, and all along he kept his vision. All along kept going. He's had financial crisis, he kept going. We had September the 11th, he kept going. We are blessed to be here at this time. Right time, right place. I can honestly tell you, never felt I could pick up a bit of sand and feel it was my home. I feel like that in Dubai.
So since you moved to Dubai, you feel like it's been always butterflies and green? Or
No, it's been...
What are some of the challenges, maybe, on the other hand, that you face?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with Dubai, but
Yeah.
the people who... Oh, by the way, I told the police who they were, and they got arrested the next day.
In the UK, people got arrested.
And what upset me was they got 6 months house arrest. They didn't even go to jail.
Coming to your house with knives?
With knives, into my house, with my family in the house, with knives. They got 6 months house arrest, tags under their ankles, yes? So what happened was, they were very internet savvy, okay? So when I was here trying to build my life, they built dozens of websites saying rubbish about me. Like I was a rapist, I was a pedophile, I was an international criminal, blah, blah, blah. So I'll meet you and I'll say I'll tell you about what services I was offering. And you'll go, okay, I like you, Dariush, let's start tomorrow. You go home and you Google me, right? And all sorts of lies were online. So I would go, come home and say, kids, you know, maybe I've got this contract and we're gonna do this. And next day you phone and say, I don't wanna work with you anymore. And you wouldn't tell me why. Then I hear through the grapevine that you search the internet and find some dodgy website. You know, it's internet stalking is really horrible.
You know, it reminds me a little bit of whose story? Dana White. Do you know Dana White?
Yes, Dana White. People sometimes look at me and go,
not because you're both bald, but it's just, you know, his story. He moved to Las Vegas. People wanted to, you know, I don't know what.
Yeah, he was running away, from it.
And he had nothing, maybe I don't know what, $1,000, and he moved to Vegas. And he met two of his friends, and they started the UFC.
They're billionaires now,
He's billionaires. I mean,
they had the UFC. He pushed them to buy the UFC, and for him to manage it.
So it's a similar story, similar haircut.
Yes.
So that's it.
People mistaken for Joe Rogan and Mr. Wonderful. So they all look at me. I'm like, oh, here we go again. They can't quite say, I know you from somewhere, right? They go, do I know you? I'm like, I don't know. Do you know me or not?
A group of people, I think the bald men, they're a group of people that they all have something in common, which is they're bald, but maybe they have something else.
Do you know what it is? It's sex drive. It's sex drive. It is, really is, I swear. Because I've studied this. And sex drive is the #1 driving force for men to be successful.
Sex drive.
Yeah. And it's Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Because all we want, ultimately, we're going to jump from subject to subject. Ultimately, we want love. If you look at it all, the guy who drives a Lamborghini, smokes the cigars, ultimately he wants love.
I don't know, I'm just a little bit against some of the, I would say, you know, I feel like a lot of the things that we see online, it's a little bit fake.
Can we swear on your podcast or not really?
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
The bullshit you see.
Yeah, so I see a guy driving a Ferrari or Lamborghini, holding a cigar, posting it on social media. Why would they do that? I mean, what is the point of that? And I feel like it's not real.
Because it's what people do.
Your sports car,
it's because somebody else is doing it, just copy it, right? There's no purpose, they're all sheep. And then when you really get to know them, it's mortgage, rented, it's for show. I know somebody who on social media burns money, throws money from buildings. I got to know someone who knows him because every single thing is copied paper, it's not real money. And also the cars are rented for a month. And he keeps showing he's got different cars. So it's all BS.
And those people, they actually do have money? Because I feel like a lot of them,
some do, most don't. Some do, most don't. Yeah. And the thing is, right, end of the day, so what? All they're trying to do is gain followers on social media, right? But what does that ultimately mean? Ultimately, they lack love. They lack connection.
Yeah, I think it's so fake. I personally, I knew someone who used to work with me, for sure, you know, it was just someone like me, you know, not a lot of money, nothing. All of a sudden, this guy every day is just posting on LinkedIn and on social media, one Rolls Royce, another day a Bentley. I mean, do you have 20 cars out of being working from 9 to 5. 3 months later, you have Bentleys and Rolls Royces and everything. So I don't know, where is this? This is, I see a lot. Other than that, I feel like everything here is great.
But you know, it's cheap, right? So, sorry to say, if you're an attractive woman, not all women, a lot of people come here and flash their bikinis on beach and all this, and that's not real life. I know my son's 30 and he was dating a few years back. He's in a very nice settled relationship now. But then he couldn't meet the right girls because between each spoon they were on social media taking a video of the dish and where are you going to take them. So people don't come to Dubai. Majority of people don't come to Dubai to build a career. They come to make as much money as possible and go back home, right? So we're going to have a higher percentage of people who are materialistic, right? You don't come to Dubai to find spirituality, although there are spiritual people here.
If you, or
although they are, but you don't come, if you want to go spiritual, you go to Bali or India, or where majority of people are spiritual,
it's
right?
easier because there's a lot of nature there. Correct. It makes it easier. But I feel in Dubai, if you want to explore and you go for a hike, if you want, when the weather is obviously it's getting a little bit better now, you want to go for a hike,
you want to go a little, it's there, but not your primarily.
Of course.
So people come here primarily to prosper, right? Because they didn't quite make it back home, or they don't like paying taxes or whatever it is. Here's the thing, if you come here and you're in it for a long game, you will do very well. Because people expect you to fly in, fly out. In my last event, one of the speakers that I brought from America, he came in and saw the room and there was 600 people worshiping him and wow. We picked him up in a Ferrari, dropped him off, and he thought the streets were paved with gold. When the summit finished, he stayed. He didn't go back. No, and he didn't tell me. Right. And all the business that he got from my summit, he didn't tell me because he didn't want to give me a cut. Although there was no, it's a gentlemanly thing to do. If you give me a client, the least thing I can do, and you pay for my flights, the least thing I can do is phone you, say thank you, or I've decided to stay, or here's a token gesture. Nothing. 3 months later, he was back in America. People think the streets are paved with gold and we're printing money to give to everyone. But you have to stay, you have to deliver on your promises, and you've got to be in it for a long game.
So you're saying the people that come here and stay here and keep going, they do very well. More than other countries.
Absolutely. Everything is relevant. I'll give you an example. Cost of living is high here, yet we don't pay taxes, right? So it's so relevant. If I'm earning more money and I'm not paying taxes, surely I can afford to pay for that chicken or the eggs. Maybe it's a little bit more than the UK. Double the price of UK, who cares? But I'm earning much more than I could ever done in the UK. See, everything's relevant. So if you can't afford it, earn more money.
And you can invest the money that you're not paying for taxes. Maybe you can invest it in something. So what do you think?
Well, I teach investment.
I was about to ask you.
Now, I live on my passive income. I don't have to work for one day for the rest of my life.
And why? So that's another. So why are you still grinding and doing those big events?
Because if you don't grow, you die. Right? If you don't grow, we're human beings.
What do you mean by that?
The world is expanding, the universe is expanding, trees are growing, dogs grow, and as nature goes, everything grows.
Yeah.
If I stop growing mentally, I'm going backwards.
Yeah.
So I spiritually die.
But I know a lot of people also, they tell me, hey, I just want to quit my job, have a passive income, maybe let's say $5,000, $10,000, just live somewhere and quiet, don't do anything.
And then they die within 2 years of retirement.
Yeah, that's a good feedback maybe for them.
It's actually proven. Growing. I think within 2.5 to 3 years, most people who retire die.
So you think about it, what's the next challenge for you, or how do you think about it?
I tell you what, I'll tell the audience, I don't flash. And people come and say, oh my God, I didn't realize. Yeah. I'm banking passive, nearly $2 million a month, passive. And I started with £20,000. $25,000
if you want to stay at home, do nothing.
No, I won't stay at home. I travel the world, 5-star, everywhere, and I earn more money when I'm on holiday than I am here. Because when I'm on holiday, I'm not spending. When I'm here, I'm spending it, right? So it's once you worked all your life for 50 years, 45 years I've worked, suddenly you have your money work for you. is something I'm not used to. I have to pinch myself and how did this work out? So to your viewers, your listeners, study compound growth. Compound growth is the eighth wonder of the world, Einstein said. And as poor, most of us are born poor. We don't know what to do with money. So what we do is when we earn it, we spend it. But if you compound it, which get high returns and keep putting it back in. Pardon?
How can we compound it?
Well, I'll give you an example. If you came to me and said, look, I've got some amount of money, I can get you 30% returns fixed a year.
A year, 30%.
A year, fixed.
How is that? I mean, the highest bank here, I think, pays 5%.
Well, the banks are there to manipulate you and screw you as a poor person. Rich people don't put money in banks. Right? Venture capitalists are returning 70, 60%.
So I give you $1 million, I get them.
You don't give me, you give it to this company, yeah?
The company, yeah.
You have an income of $300,000 a year, and your interest will be paid every 3 months. Amazing. And then what happens, when you get your money back and you got some more money, you top it up. And you top it up. And the graph literally goes like this, and then suddenly it starts accelerating. So most people, during this time period of growth, like for instance, I give you, my son's 16, and he started passive income about 18 months ago.
He's you're teaching your kids
earlier the better.
Money very early.
Correct. He's got a passive income of 13,000 dirhams a month. And he's a school. And my wife said, you know, he's gaming, he's got 100,000 followers on his YouTube account and this. And he goes, when are we going to teach him how to work? I said, hang on a second. If he can earn, and he calculated by the time he's 26, he'd be worth 36 million dirhams, right? If he compounds, and he'd only be 26. And then why does he have to work for his money? He can do what he loves, he can do what he enjoys, as long as he's healthy, helps people, goes to the gym. Why do we have to work?
I think that's the mindset that you have at home, where growth is part of your, your life.
Your DNA, your DNA, yeah.
So you're saying that you want to grow every day. You want to do better. Now, from the wealth that you have, you don't care about maybe, if you don't care about staying at home, do nothing, but you'd rather always grow.
Yes.
So if I ask you, what do you want to achieve then? Do you have a certain goal that you want to achieve at the end or something?
You have to first of all believe in miracles, right? So we have this event coming called Gladiator Summit.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. A year and a half ago, I was asked to go to this seminar, introduce myself to this guy who has seminars all over the world. And so I booked a VIP ticket to sit in the front to introduce myself to him, that maybe one day he'll select me to speak on his stage. Okay. And the whole reason is maybe his ego, maybe I got issues of not good enough by my mother. I want to prove to her subconsciously that I'm good enough. I don't know what it is. So it's not certainly fame. I cringe when people come and shake my hand or take photographs. I don't like that bit. But I do know the more people I serve, the happier I get. And the more people I serve, the richer I get. So
what do you mean by serve?
I'll give you an example, right? So Tom Cruise sells the most amount of cinema tickets, right? Yeah, he's the richest actor. Coldplay sell the most amount of tickets to the concerts.
You got a ticket for Coldplay?
I do actually, yeah. I won't even tell you how much I paid. Yeah. And I know I got screwed.
You got a black market or?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I won't even tell you.
No worries.
The audience will hate me. Even when I paid it, I knew I was being screwed. I thought, anyway, makes my kids happy. So, so the more people you serve, why is Bill Gates one of the richest men in the world? Because he's got computers on every desk. Why is Elon Musk the richest man in the world? Because half the electric cars in the world are Tesla. So the more people you serve, the more people you provide the service to, the richer you get. So, and a year and a half ago, I went to this seminar, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's not that great. It's not that great. The speakers all spoke from their head. They were all very rehearsed, and it didn't connect with my heart, with my soul. And then I turned around to this guy who people said I should speak to, and he had 20, 30 people kissing his ass, right? And I'm not an ass kisser. No matter how deep in the shit I was, I don't kiss ass. That's ego, I think. So I thought, I turned around to the two people next to me. I said, I think I can do better than this. I said, I think I can do better than this. And then, lo and behold, this guy, one of my friends, introduced me to this guy, and he heard that I had a YouTube podcast with 1 million subscribers. And he phoned me to say, can I speak on your podcast? So he comes and we got on really, really well. And he came to my office, and in there I have a shrine to Muhammad Ali. He's my hero. And he goes, oh my God, I love Muhammad Ali. And I thought, okay, what I'll do is I'll send him a gift to his office, Muhammad Ali. So I'm picking up all these things because one day I want to speak on his stage. And he went, oh my God, we got on so well. You are part of my inner circle. You are part of my inner circle. And I want to invite you June of 2024 to this country, Estonia. Book your flights, book your hotel, you're my inner circle. And for 1 month, I'm going to introduce you to everyone I know. The moment he left, I thought, I'm a man of my word. So booked my flights, booked the best hotel in Estonia, 1 month in June. I went online and I found him a gift, and Muhammad Ali gloves with Cassius clay, which is like really rare. Before he was called Muhammad Ali, he was called Cassius clay. And I sent it to his office. $11,000, the gift was. So I sent it to his office. January, February, March, April, I hear nothing. And I'm like, he either hasn't got it or he's just rude, right? So I sent a message to his secretary. I said, have you got my gift? So she sent a picture, sends it to me. I said, yeah, we got it. Nothing. April, May, June. June comes, I hear nothing. So I went on, canceled my flights, canceled my hotel. But this time now, oh, by the way, sorry. When it came to February, March, I'm like angry, right? I thought, you know what, screw you. Screw you, I'm gonna have my own event. So I went to Banyan Tree, put a $500,000 down payment, and I said, you know what, I'll see if my followers will come. We sold out 600 tickets in 4 weeks. So it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I thought, oh my God. So I phoned around, and 10 of my friends flew from all over the world to speak on my stage.
When was that, you're saying?
April 27th. So May comes, and June comes, nothing happens. I'm really pissed. So I get on my phone, I've got a new phone, and I'm going through my phone, and his name appears. And I thought, you know what? I have an issue with you, right? I want to air it, because I really believe gladiators should have confrontation. Don't carry it. Don't carry negativity or pain. Share it, and don't go aggressive. Not all confrontation is bad, right?
So you're making an event, just to give people some you're making an event.
I'll explain.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you how the event went, and then the story, and then what the event is. So I sent him a message. I sent him a WhatsApp. I said, hey, listen, obviously you and I are never going to get on. I'm not part of your inner circle. We don't have the same values, because I sent you this, you didn't thank me. June came and went, boom, 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 boom. I wish you farewell and no hard feelings. But when I said it, I felt that lump had cleared, right? And within a minute, he messaged me back. I'm so sorry, I forgot, I was sick, I hear you have an event. Can I come and speak at your event? So this person is speaking at my event in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A year ago, I went to his.
You don't want to mention who that person is?
No. Okay. He's very well known.
Yeah.
So a year and a half ago, I went to his event. I wasn't even known. Now I'm holding the biggest.
A year and a half ago?
Yes,
you
2023.
Oh, okay.
No, on the speaking gig. And now I have the biggest motivational event in the whole of UAE.
Yeah.
And he is world renowned speaking on my stage. Miracles, right?
You wanted to speak at his event a year and a half ago. That's why I was a little bit confused, because I thought you were very well known in the country for the past.
In that country, but this guy's worldwide. He has things in America, South
So you wanted
Asia,
to speak at his events
all over the
globally?
World. Globally, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is.
I never held my own events.
You want to go global?
Well, this is where it's going to go. So thank you. So even now, here's the difference. Even if he comes to me now to speak at my events, I'll say no, because we have a better movement going on.
If he wants to speak at your events?
If he says come and speak at my event, I'll say no.
Oh,
because our events are bigger and better
than his here.
To me, it'll be a drop into all over the world, because I'm taking this.
This is just in a year? It's crazy.
Yeah. So we've sold 2,500 tickets for 16th of November, and our competition, other event organizers they've had people like Tony Robbins, everything. They are begging me to tell them what the secret is, because at the same weekend, our competition is giving tickets away for free. They haven't sold over 100. They haven't given away. People don't want to know.
Coca-Cola Arena, huh?
That's the 1 week after.
The week after.
Now
where is your event?
On the 16th, 17th of World Trade Center.
World Trade Center.
Now here's another thing, right?
Yeah.
These guys, who've got Richard Branson, Coca-Cola Arena, all these people coming. It's very old-fashioned that you think you can get a well-known speaker and people will buy tickets to watch them. It doesn't happen anymore. Because anything I want to know about Richard Branson, I can Google. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why would I want to go into traffic, pay, and listen to the guy
Life
do
is a little bit different, or what do you think?
Correct. So these event organizers haven't moved on. I've only recognized this now. And half the time when somebody's giving you a free ticket, you know you're going to be pitched in the room. They're going to say, go in the back of the room, I've got this deal for you. You're going to be feeling pressured, right? One thing people couldn't understand at the end of my event, that we just walked away. They were like, oh, you're not going to sell us anything? I said, no. Did you lose? Yes, I lost money. Yes, but guess what? I made $30 million from April to now on the back end. People came to me and said, I'll give you this for speaking. Would you consult me? Would you do this? I want to invest with you. $35 million since April to now I made.
Hopefully this event, it's one of the biggest events, you're saying, if not the biggest this year, and one of the biggest.
This is the hairstyle. I had a message 10 days ago from the government of Abu Dhabi saying, name your price. We'll bring it to Etihad. We give you Etihad Arena.
How many people can you get there?
13,000, I think.
13,000.
Yeah. And they said, now I have a loyalty to Dubai, right? So I feel I'll be cheating.
So it's more of a Dubai, not a UAE thing.
Well, do you know, why not have one in Dubai and Abu Dhabi? Are you with me? Why not? Because I think of abundance. Population 6 million, having 15,000 is not a big deal, right? So here's the difference, and I'm thinking, I'm constantly reflecting. We have 27 speakers from around the world coming, and I've got 110 entertainers, and we're going to surprise people through the day. So I'm not going to allow them to sit there, get bored, and write notes. Things are going to happen.
How do you think people just coming to an event like that, just being there, they feel that, inspiration in that moment, and then maybe the following day they just feel like, oh,
amazing.
Maybe some of the things you feel people learn from these events, just a tip from you maybe, that they learn from these events, can they implement and take it into action
very next
after?
Day. To be successful, 85% is motivation. 10% is habitual stuff, and 5% skill. Most people, when you go to the seminars, they teach you motivation. Now, motivation goes, if you're a negative person, and you've had 30 years of your family telling you you're no good, you're not going to go to a seminar and next day you're motivated, right? So the problem is motivation goes. But if I can say, if you come to my seminar, you're already hungry, you're already ready for change, if I can teach you that skill, and just teach you the skill, how successful could you be?
So just for me to understand, when you came here, you came again with $700.
Nobody knew me, and I had shit online about me. That wasn't true. I was minus. I wasn't even.
So you're coming to, just to give some people, a lot of people want to move to Dubai and they don't know where to start and all that. Just something I just remembered now. People can come to Dubai, they can start a business or a freelance visa for around $300.
For nothing.
Just nothing. Yeah, they can start from scratch. I don't know how much, freelance license. So that's something else. I'm not sure how much is the visa, but just to give some people some context that you can move to Dubai and start from bottom. But someone like you coming to Dubai with a lot of negativity from there, with a heart attack, $700?
Three kids. No school fees, nothing. I lived in a maid's room on the Palm. So what I teach is, if you're going to live in a maid's room, don't live in Sharjah, don't live in Ajman. I lived on the Palm. Right?
Yeah. So you'd rather live in a
good neighborhood because you're socializing with rich people. So what happened was, when I was playing volleyball on the beach and rich people were saying, when are you going to come? I can't wait to see. You're building relationships, right? So the conversation is different about money, conversation and your networking. So after about a month of playing volleyball with this guy on the beach, I realized he's successful and he's an MD of a company. And he says, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a sales consultant. I can guarantee I can increase your sales.
Oh my goodness, we've got to talk about sales. I mean, you're a sales consultant. I'm a sales trainer, consultant. We got to talk about that also a little bit.
Yeah, so that's a whole 10 podcasts.
Yeah, we got to talk. For sure, we need to do a full podcast for people about sales.
I'll be honest.
I wanted to ask you regarding sales. Do you feel like sales is a little bit different in the UAE or in Dubai than the world? Sales is the same everywhere?
The thing is, right, there's two types of sales. One is order taking, and the other one is selling. I think I'm in Marina Plaza, and I noticed the
Your
traffic.
office is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I noticed that we're on the 33rd floor, and I noticed the traffic of people getting into the lift is changing. So, you know, at 9 o'clock or 10 to 9, it's packed, the lift is packed.
Yeah.
I noticed that there's more cowboy, young British people coming over, right? And all they're talking about is getting drunk, having parties, this. Who are they going to force to sell an apartment to? Now, 2008, before the recession came, I remember a guy who couldn't speak English had 3 phones, and as you were visiting the apartment, the price of the apartment was going up. You have to put the money down now or it'll literally go up. That's not selling, that's order taking.
That's transactional.
Pardon?
It's just transactional.
Transactional. You're a Mars salesman, yes?
Yeah.
How many Mars bars do you want? Yes, there's demand there, and you're just filling the shelf. So, and I knew that day was going to come to an end. And I think what happens is in that real estate agent, where they're not investing in soft skills, they're looking at machine gunning the public. I signed up with MR, and I'll hire as many commission-only salespeople as possible. And one of them could be the superstar who's going to hit that sale, okay? And I notice that's happening a lot. And it's sad, because most of these young people, they'll probably have a great time. They go back to UK with no money. Sales training is all about relationship building. I'm nearly 60, and I closed 99.9% of my deals. Why? Because even at my age, I have childlike enthusiasm about helping somebody in front of me.
I can feel it, yeah.
Yeah, so they don't sit, when that salesperson who's got no miles, no emotional intelligence sits in front of a prospect, do you know how many questions they ask before they take him to the apartment or sell him the car or finances? 3.
And that's very little.
You gotta ask minimum 20 questions. And they've got to be relevant questions, right? So you got to be really interested. So if you feel I'm interested in helping you, you trust me, you will buy from me.
Yeah. And so how can someone build that? So you're saying a lot.
Be
you need to be
interested.
asking good and as many questions as possible.
Yes.
And you need to be able to feel the other person.
If I find your true pain,
yeah,
and you feel I care for you, you will find the reason to buy from me.
And that will come from the questioning.
That will come from the questioning.
Don't you feel like if someone asks a lot of questions, maybe the other person would feel like it's an interrogation?
Because it's the wrong questions.
Yeah.
And sometimes too deep, too early, right? So people want to talk about themselves more than listening to anybody else, right? So if you can get the other person to feel comfortable to share with you their circumstances, right? For instance, you have children, what schools you go to, what about traffic, why do you come to Dubai? These are good questions, because then I'm not going to have you running around giving you loads of apartments not going to be relevant to you, right?
And they're personal questions
because I need to know to give you the perfect fix to your problems. And so when I first came, people said, what do you do? And I was like, I can't be bothered explaining. So I need to create something that gets people's enthusiasm. So I'll say, I'm an aspirin salesman. You go, aspirin salesman? I said, yeah, I'll find you a business headache and I'll fix it.
Business headache.
Business headache and I'll fix it. So I need to have a 7-minute meeting with you to find out if you have any business headaches and if I can fix it. When are you free? And they go, oh, that was a good one. I like that one. It'd be okay to have Dariush because it's a bit entertaining, you know, so they let me in their office.
So you went there and you were consulting businesses to help their sales grow?
I can walk into any business and increase the sales by 15 to 20%.
In any industry?
Any industry.
B2B, B2C?
Any industry.
Marketing, sales?
Any industry.
Okay. How
because
is that?
The process of buying is the same mentally. If I buy a book, a pen, a ship, I always go through that emotional questioning. Have I made the right decision? Am I going to look foolish? Are they going to take my money and run? Is this a good time? All those questions.
The money on run thing, you're worried since what happened with those people with the knives.
Well, the thing is, most people do. You know why? Because if you have an appointment with me, and it's not a podcast, an appointment with me to buy one of my services, you know I'm selling, you're not going to be going, I can't wait to see Dariush. You're thinking, I hope he's not going to do to me what the other people before me did.
Yeah.
Because we're driven
Of course,
we're
with
driven by fear
experiences
and bad experiences, right? So if I can overcome your fears before you tell me, you will automatically like me.
Yeah, yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
You will automatically go, oh, this guy subconsciously understands me. I like him. I can trust him. So when you like and trust someone, you will find reasons to do business with them. You look for reasons.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, people buy from people at the end of the day, and people buy from people they trust and they
Yes.
like, and so forth. Speaking of fear, what do you fear then the most? Is there anything that you fear?
Yeah, my kids on Sheikh Zayed Road,
Your kids on Sheikh Zayed Road?
driving on Sheikh Zayed Road, because every day I see some lunatic want to kill themselves or somebody else. The only thing I have, because my kids have got fast cars, and they've got that from me, and I just pray to God that they're going to be safe on Sheikh Zayed Road when they're driving.
How do you convince them in a way that they can't?
I just hope. They're actually, my kids are more reasonable than me. I'm the idiot. Yesterday, I got 2 driving fines. I was doing because of my event, I've got to do some talk. I'm not even ready for it.
Yeah.
So I was pressing in the car, and I looked at I was doing 150, and the flashes came. So I'm the
I hate that flash. It just I feel like
I was in my own world. I was in my own world I was motivated, obviously, driving the car. And I got flashed. I got 4,600 dirhams worth of fines yesterday. So I deserve it. So you're very sensible.
For your event, let's speak a little bit about your event and what's next for you. So let's just give people some context. So you're having an event with around how many people would be in that event?
We've sold, it's 2 days. The first day is
2 days event.
2 day event.
16th and 17th.
in World Trade Center. Again, you need to have balls, right?
Yeah.
And I think I've got stainless steel ones. I really do. I think the amount of uncertainty I can take as an entrepreneur is huge. So when I got motivated doing my first event at Banyan Tree, everybody came to me and I really liked the energy. There was 600 people. We finished at 7 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock they wouldn't go home. For 3 hours they were still in the venue. They wouldn't go home. And they'll come to me and say, there's a queue of people who want to take photographs of me, and social media. I was on Virgin, I was on Dubai One. The whole world, Chris Fade is coming speaking on my stage.
Oh.
You know,
It's
the whole
huge,
world started talking about world of UAE, about our event. And then so next day or a couple of days later, I got motivated, and I popped $1 million dirhams at World Trade Center. To be an event organizer, you have to risk and $500,000 dirhams just on AVs and sound systems. So I'm 2 million.
Sorry to ask you, but when you say you've got a stainless steel balls, how do you think someone can have stainless steel balls in that perspective? Is it something that you're born? I'm not trying to make a joke or anything.
No.
But is it something that you're born with?
You have to replace them. I think what happens somewhere along the way, you make a decision whether you're going to have an amazing life or you're going to have a mediocre life. Okay.
It's a decision.
It's a decision, because you have to be aware of your thought process. Okay, so I think deep down inside, I'm very angry. I'm a very angry guy. In England, I was in jail all the time for beating people up. You know, all my knuckles have gone, and because I was very angry inside.
And you look.
Thank you. I used to be super fit. I'm not now. My knees are gone. My hips gone. My ankles are gone. But
super fit, but still the stainless steel balls are there. And
they're still there.
$1 million dirhams, just
2 million.
2 million dirhams, and and you might.
And I don't need it. I swear to God, with 2 million, I can buy a couple of most amazing apartments in this building and take the money. But here's the thing: my calling is to help people. Really is, because there was nobody there for me. And I know how difficult it was when there was nobody there for me.
So you feel
I felt like killing myself so many times.
Before coming here?
Before coming here.
Or at the beginning when you first
I had a terrible childhood, abusive parenting, lost my family.
Your dad passed away when you were saying when you were 4.
My mom was physically abusive. And
you don't think maybe she was,
she was pissed off.
Because she was alone?
She was hot. She was super gorgeous. She still is. 77, she looks like 50. She was so attractive, and she couldn't have a relationship or move on because she had me, right? So
I was the only child?
I had a 30-day-old sister when my father passed away. My sister was 30 days old.
30 days old.
30 days
Oh
old.
yeah, younger than you. So
Yeah,
I thought the difference was.
No, she just given birth and my father passed.
Yeah.
So she had, you know,
Maybe your mom. I don't know, because you're saying your mom was. Very
she's an amazing
rough.
human being.
Amazing human being. Okay.
But then here's the thing, okay? The way her life has been, I don't blame. Honestly, I had to deal with it. But what I do realize is that I'd never had a childhood, right? Never had a childhood. I was told
What do you
from
mean by never have a child?
well, I was never allowed to go out. I was never social. I'm an introvert. I make music, and
But you're not an introvert, of course,
am.
right? Still?
total introvert.
How is that?
I do this because it's a living,
Yeah.
right? I have to go out there and meet people to make a living, right? But I rather be on my own, alone with my kids, right? Silence, stillness,
But there won't
solitude.
be that growth you're talking about still.
I'll read books.
Yeah. You can grow in different
I'll
ways.
do
yeah.
things. Yeah, I'll invest. I've got investments in about 10 companies.
So how was your childhood then?
It was miserable.
Rough.
It was, if you imagine age 30, first of all, it was always be careful, don't do this. And I realized, like, although I was told I wasn't good enough all my life, right? You're never gonna make it, they're better than you, they're this. I always thought, I'm gonna fucking show you. Subconscious, I'll show you.
So
I'll show you, I'll prove you
the
wrong.
People that
Yeah.
didn't believe in you.
Yeah, my
anymore?
mom.
Your mom.
So the person nearest and dearest to me, right? So, and maybe it was her way of pushing me to be something. And one thing I do know, I was never jealous. Okay, and that's really important.
Yeah.
I always thought I can do it. What's Mohammed doing? Why is he going to first class and I'm going to economy? Why is he driving that car? And I better learn from what he's doing. So I get inspired when I see wealth instead of, oh, he must be a lucky guy or he's into sports or, yeah. So the dialogue I have in my head is always, how can I be like them? How can I learn from them? It's very always wanting to grow. And also I'm extremely positive. So when people talk about COVID, I said to them, this will pass. People still want to get together. People will still go on holidays. You have no idea how much hate mail I got. Take me off your this, unfollow me, block
this
me.
will pass,
Because
or
they were
you're
all
saying-
saying people will
or you
never
were
shake
against
hands
it.
again.
Yeah.
We'll never have meetings again. Doom and gloomers are everywhere.
Yeah.
And I said, now there's not enough planes being built fast enough for people to travel.
But this country also, what they did was great. I mean, during COVID,
Yes.
they opened up earlier than everyone
Everybody
else. They
else.
attracted a lot of investment.
Yes.
People that stayed late, I mean, I think they're still not recovering.
But even then it was difficult. Because you
Countryside.
still have to, if you remember, you had to report to the police every few days. You had to go to you had to go to the petrol station, where you had to go to the supermarket.
Don't
You know,
remind me of those
but the
Imagine
issue
going
is,
to the beach with a face mask.
I know.
That was so funny.
Now you see
sitting on
people
the
with
beach
face masks, you think, really? You still believe in that shit?
Some people
Yeah.
still
Still.
wear it, do.
So the worst thing is in retailers.
Yeah.
When you go in there as a retailer working with a mask, and what message are they sending out?
Yeah.
I don't want to catch you, the consumer, your disease. Think about it,
Yeah.
right? I would say go home, thank you very much, go and wear your mask at home. When you are here, you're going to serve people and you're going to subconsciously tell them they have diseases.
So if I ask you, what would be for you, Dariush, what would be a day for you that you would say that would be the best day in your life, other than the
The best day
gladiator
of my life was last week. Last week,
yeah.
I was in Seychelles, in an island called Walt of Astoria, owned by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed.
Yeah.
And we were like the only family on the whole island. We had like 200 people serving us. Private runway in the middle of the island. I laid there at midnight because it's really strange. If you're in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and it literally was the nearest island was 150 kilometers away. And if there's no city lights, it's really a strange situation. We laid on the runway and I saw the Milky Way.
Whoa.
The whole stars in the Milky Way.
It's an island where you go, of course, with a boat or something to
Plane.
reach there. With
Plane.
a plane, okay.
Boat takes too long.
Yeah.
And then I flew our own private jet there, private jet back. I was like, this is
Do you
the
have
life.
a private jet? Just-
No,
Oh.
because you're crazy if you have your own private jet.
Yeah, why?
Unless you're in America.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough airports to keep hopping. 99% of the time, your plane's going to sit like having a boat.
For some reason, I'm constantly seeing helicopters here in Dubai. I see a lot of helicopters moving.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Helicopters are easy to land.
So if I don't know if you have the money for it, or if you don't, let's say you wouldn't want to have a private jet.
No, I'll charter. And also you have at least 3 crew and 2 or 3 staff for looking after you on the plane. So I don't have that kind of wealth. And the idea of, if I want to spend $100,000 a month, I'd rather give it to charity. You know, and I'd rather get somebody else's plane, somebody else's problems. I used to have a boat, and the maintenance of the boat was the biggest headache ever. Because when it's sitting in the water, it's gathering also rust and
what I
stuff
love
from the
about
water.
Dubai, where you can buy a nice car for cheaper, I think, than anywhere else in the world. You can buy a boat cheaper, but the maintenance, especially for something like a boat, is too much compared to. So, for example, in Egypt, you can buy a boat. It will be much more expensive than here, but the maintenance is cheaper. You can get a skipper for cheaper.
If you use it every day, right?
Yeah.
So there's when the Russian situation happened, the Italian police went to reclaim some of the boats that are left by the billionaires and confiscate them. And there was one Russian billionaire who had all his staff making him a full course lunch and dinner every day, all of it lobster, just in case he ever came. And one stage, he hadn't been on the boat for 1 year.
What is that? Who's that?
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
But they had to make him full-blown lunch every single day, just in case he turned up.
Oh my.
And they will throw the lobsters, everything
Lobsters every
away.
day.
Yeah. And to me, that's waste,
I think if they throw it back in the sea,
so
that would
there's
be
so
better
much
for
wealth out there.
sustainability.
Correct. So if I was staff, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
But there's so much waste out there. I just can't get. No matter how rich I'll ever be, I'll never waste money. Of
course.
I appreciate it too much.
Yeah. That's
There was
100%,
one guy-
especially coming with only $700 to Dubai.
Yeah,
at
I
this
remember
time.
the pain.
I wanted to ask you, when you said you went to Seychelles, into that island, you said it's owned by Sheikh Mohammed, right?
It's called Waldorf Astoria, managed by Waldorf Astoria.
Are you usually following Sheikh Mohammed?
No.
It was a coincidence?
Just coincidence.
Okay, because I was about to ask you then, who's your role model then? Do you have a role model?
I think I have a role model in different things. There's not one role model for everything, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, leadership and vision. Our ruler of Abu Dhabi, our ruler of Dubai, they're just mind-blowing. And we're literally blessed to be here this time. I think then you look at risk-taking, money-raising, not giving a shit, Elon Musk. He really doesn't. He bought Twitter for $44 billion.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to advertise with him, and he doesn't give a shit. And I told the people,
He's causing problems now in the tech world.
yeah,
Why?
but
Because
does he care?
He laid off. I think, I don't know. Maybe I'm not coming up with the right
Yes,
numbers, but
yeah.
like 60 or 70% of the employees, and the company's still working. Some
Yes.
other companies are thinking, why do we have all these employees? And
Yes.
Elon did it. Well, let's just do it. And so
Yes.
they're getting rid of a lot of
100%.
people, and the companies are.
And at the same time, he's sending men to Mars, and at the same time, he's
It's
got
crazy. Just imagine
automated-
someone thinking, Mars. I
Yeah.
mean, let's go to Mars.
Imagine
And-
lying there, looking at the solar system, and
Yeah.
thinking this man
Douche.
is sending a rocket over there for people to live on there.
Yeah.
And that's just one of his businesses.
So
And that's
he's
by the
a
way,
role model.
SpaceX in risk taking, but now as a human being, right? Then there's Gandhi. Your role models don't have to be alive,
Yeah.
right?
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Why Gandhi then?
Because he turned 500 million Indians who were under occupation from the British peacefully into a most independent country in the world, right? So without killing no one.
Elon Musk, Gandhi, anyone else?
Yeah, sure. Mother Teresa, the love she gave to everyone. Nelson Mandela. There's different leaders.
They're
Different
similar. The last three are kind of similar.
love.
To each
It's all
other.
about ultimately.
So
it's all
Gandhi,
about love.
Mother Teresa,
Nelson Mandela, Gandhi.
A little bit similar to each other.
It's changing the masses that you don't have to be chained. You don't have to be, subservient to everyone else. You can stand up and stand up for yourself. And as a human being, the moment you be born, we're just the luckiest people in the world because there was 1 to 600 million chances that you're not going to get born, right? So you're already winning. Why is society killing your potential?
Yeah. So why do you have what's it called, like a frame of Muhammad Ali in your office then?
Because
You didn't mention him.
he didn't speak English.
Yeah.
He wasn't educated. He did speak
he wasn't
English very well.
educated, yeah.
He wasn't educated, and he wrote poetry. He was a black man in a white man's world, at the peak of his boxing career, And he worked hard, by the way. On stage, you see him 30 minutes beating the hell out of everyone. But for 6 months, he woke up at 4 in the morning, ran a marathon every single day. He gave up his title and wealth when he had nothing, came from nothing, because of his principles as a Muslim. He became a Muslim man in a Christian country, black man in a white man's world. He had so many things. At the peak of his career, they took his license away, boxing for 2.5 years. But he didn't go to Vietnam War because of his principles. And then when he got Parkinson's, he didn't hide. He started inspiring people to overcome the disease. So greatest of all time.
That's a lot. So, you know, I love that you mentioned the people that you look up to, and they're all great. So I want to ask you something. So we have a lot of people, they want to move to Dubai again. They don't have enough money, you know, they want to move here and have a good life. What recommendation do you have for young people just trying to move here?
I don't think you should move because you haven't got enough money.
Yeah.
I think you should have some savings, because when you make a decision, a lot of the time your decision is based on how much money you got in your account or how much money you haven't got in your account. So what I say to people is, don't make any decisions based on your current financial situation, because your financial situation is going to change, right?
Yeah.
So if you made a desperate decision, 3 months later you're going to regret it. So don't come, and nobody invests in a desperate person. So when I had nothing, I had to act as if. I had to work so hard on portraying a positive image that I wasn't desperate. So save a little bit of money, make sure you live in the right neighborhood, you're having the right conversations, you can buy your own coffee. Man, there was one time, I'm sitting with a friend of mine, by the way, even now, even when I had nothing, I always bought the first drink. I always do, because I think it's about abundance. In this particular case, we were sitting in the Address Dubai Marina, and we went to Starbucks. I bought the coffee. I got the coffee, and I said, "You know what, Dave? I can't afford to pay for that." That's how tough life was. He goes, "Is it that bad?" I said, "Yes." And he got out 500 dirhams. A guy called Dave Crane gave me 500 dirhams, and I couldn't stop crying, because what's life come to from being worth that kind of money? And the very next day, a client paid, and I paid him back. But you know that deed, I paid him back 100 times. 100 times. He's still on my visa.
You always remember when someone
He's still
does
on my visa.
something good for you.
Him and his family are on my visa.
Yeah.
I did 3 years of visa runs into Oman. And every day I'll go over, and the same woman will serve me and say, "Are you a tourist?" I'll go, "Yes." And I was lying, and she knew I was lying. It was the most degrading thing ever. It really was degrading. And every month I'll go, "Never again, never again." And I'll drag my family all the way to Oman. My baby would change his nappies 3 times there, 3 times back. It's heartbreaking. Now you look back, and I have this lifestyle, and I still cry. I still cry, and I think, God, thank you, God. Live in gratitude, right? If you live in gratitude, you don't complain about anything.
True. You can always look at a lot of the people around you all over
could
the
be
world,
dead.
and you
I could be. I had a heart attack 3 years ago, my second one.
again.
Yeah, I was on stage in New York doing a talk, and I sat down, and my heartbeat was 190 beats a minute. Sitting down, I thought, this is not good.
And what was the reason for that? I think
Stress.
Since it's
Stress.
still stress.
Stress, yeah. Stress. It was just COVID had just come out.
And what did you learn something from that last heart attack? Anything changed? Or it was mostly the first
Not
one?
really, just handle stress better. I think the stress was, I think I was very insecure. So the stress that brought me in, I was like, what about me? What's going to happen to me? Poor me. That thing. And then I worked on myself that I'll always be okay.
Yeah.
Even if I'm alone, I'll always be okay. So if it happens again, I'll be okay.
So if I wanted to ask you here, just thinking of all the young salespeople here in
Yes.
this country, what would be one tip you would give to every salesperson? What would that
Kill
be?
the ego,
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
Ego is the,
Ego with clients, like don't take,
just ego. You know, the show on, the talk, and the
yeah.
arrogance. Just kill it. It's good to have confidence, but the ego, you don't have to have a flashy anything. You don't have to go and buy expensive suits. You know, you can turn around to a client and be honest and say, hey, I've just come in, I've got no money. I'm young, I don't know this industry, but I'll tell you what you're gonna get from me, 200%, because I have goals, I wanna get somewhere in life. Just invest in me, right? And I will run round 100 times more than any of my competition because I'm hungry to serve you. What are they gonna say, fuck off? They're gonna appreciate you, but what happens, the guy comes in, borrows, flashy suits, flash this, flash that, and they think that's gonna...
And the clients will feel it.
Clients will feel it,
Dariush, I mean, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Really, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank
and
you.
we'll do another one about sales, because I wanted to know
What
about you
about
first.
Can we mention the book?
No, let's.
My book's coming out next week.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
this is your book.
My gift to you.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to sign it if you don't mind.
Yeah. Of course you can sign it.
This
that
is my...
you?
Yes.
Oh, that's you. Look. I mean, you look great, but you look. Yeah.
I look
so
mean.
this is your
On the
book.
other side, you can
What
see
is
the
that?
other side.
The
It really is me.
gladiator.
If you turn the back, there's me.
Oh. 12 principles of a modern day gladiator. Yeah.
You see,
it's a guide for a living.
I'm going to give you one question, and you can answer.
Of course.
If you went to appointments today, like your life depended on it, like you were a gladiator.
Yeah.
I call life an arena, right? And you went into that like your life depended on it. On the other side, within this arena, there's a gladiator who could kill you. You don't know who's on the other side.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll prepare a bit better?
Of course.
Do you think you work out a bit more?
Of course.
Do you think you work on your mentality before you go in? Because there's no joke. It's not about dust yourself down and pick yourself up, right? And on the way out, if you even pretend you're sick, there's a guy in charge of smashing your brain to make sure you're not pretending, right? So what if you went to an appointment this afternoon with those principles?
Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes.
You do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
We just gone soft.
Yeah.
Right? Yesterday I was in a meeting and somebody said 98% of businesses will start to go bust. I say bullshit, you don't have to. If you research properly, if you practice your maneuvers, you have a strategy, that should be 98% make it, not 98% don't make it. We just gone soft. So have the gladiator mindset.
That's the gladiator mindset. You have the you believe yourself. You're like a modern day gladiator.
100%. Yeah, I should have been dead so many times. And I'm going to do courses. My goal. I'm going to take 20 people to a gladiator school of 2,000 years ago in Italy. And I'm going to train, not physical. I'm going to train mental gladiators for the modern day. Yeah.
Maybe you should talk about the near-death experience also, since you faced it kind of twice. You know, there's some people talk
The
about.
thing is, if I talk about that, then religion gets involved, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All I know, this is what we have.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
Does our body transform into some other energy? Possibly. You know, I actually really admire people who they're not scientists, they have faith in the heaven and hell and the afterlife, because then dying doesn't become so fearful.
Yeah.
But if you feel this is it,
this is the end.
this is the end, and we all have it, it becomes quite scary, and you a bit like me, you got to make it work, you got to make this happen, right?
It's such a good feeling to feel like there's an afterlife, and you got to do your best. You got to be kind. You got to be kind anyway, but you got to be kind. You got to be, do nice and good to other people, because also in the next life,
Who's the biggest bank in the world?
Bank, I think. Maybe I'm not the best.
The Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, yeah.
The biggest bank in the world. Because they've been collecting taxes for 2,000 years.
Ah.
Right? The Vatican is the richest bank on the planet. Look at real estate. They own every single real estate premium in every city in the Western world. And other places where the church is. So, church doesn't make the individual rich. So, in my humble opinion, God is within us. God has given us the power of thought. Use it correctly. Be your own temple. Be your own this. Yes, and choose who you're guided by. Yes, but don't relinquish responsibility. If I sit in bed, I eat a pack of chips with a remote control, watching reruns of Netflix, I'm going to have a six-pack. I'm going to have this because God's look after me. No, you idiot, right? That's not how it works. Get out, take action, make it happen.
Yeah. I love how everything you're saying is more about growth. Everything is about
Yes.
getting better.
Yes,
And so-
exactly.
Dariush, I
Love you,
really
man.
appreciate this conversation. The Gladiator and everyone, I mean, looking forward to the event on the 16th and 17th. It will be great, and we'll do another one about sales.
Put you in the front seats.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Dariush.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
God bless you.